Growth is not linear. Let's talk about it. What's up, y'all? My name is Elia. I'm a mindset coach. I talk candidly about my journey, as well as share tips to encourage growth and healing and uplift anyone who may struggle with feeling seen. So, growth is not linear, it's not predictable. There is no script for this. We're all just kind of figuring it out as we go. New levels come with new challenges, and sometimes that means there are detours and side quests along the journey. And I know detours and all of these extra things that kind of happen along our growth journey can be frustrating. And I mean, that's just the truth. They are frustrating. There's also a lot of beauty in that and really leaning into that because sometimes you do have to kind of step back to leap forward. Different aspects of you may be developed through different experiences, and lessons come in a variety of ways. And sometimes, and I've been guilty of this myself, sometimes you got to take the class over a few times until you master that particular lesson. But the beauty of that, again, is that the journey in and of itself is filled with all of these opportunities to learn. And it's not necessarily just about getting to a destination, because in life, we have many destinations that we're shooting for, many goals, a lot of things we want to see for ourselves. And in between us and actually achieving those goals or reaching those milestones, there's a lot of growth. There's a very complex and convoluted journey. And almost never, and I would bet money on this, almost never is that a straight line without bumps, hiccups, detours, reroutes, and sometimes just a lot of confusion. So as always, I want to humanize this a bit and share what this has looked like for me, because I don't think I'm alone in saying this, that life is full of surprises and growth is not linear. So for me, my journey has been filled with a lot of twists and turns, many of which truly got on my nerves in the moment. And at points, I really struggled to feel like I was actually moving forward or see my progress, because it didn't look like what I had been taught it would look like in school, in jobs, things I had heard in my childhood, even things that I was conditioned to believe as a result of the social circles that I grew up in. A lot of my journey didn't resemble that. So it was hard for me at points to really see that and define it as progress. And I would feel stuck at moments when I couldn't obviously see things changing or see things improving, because in my head there was this one to one of, okay, well, if I'm putting in the work, it's going to then look like this. Success is going to look like this. Achievement is going to look like this. Growth is going to look like this. And when it didn't, I would sometimes just want to give up because I couldn't make sense of the process. And I found myself extremely frustrated. And I don't know if you're like me, but confusion and frustration are probably two of the things that I really struggle with the most, because yeah, life is one big ball of gray to some degree, don't get me wrong. I also know that we can cut down on a lot of that. So in those moments of confusion and frustration, I was just so pissed off that I just wanted to give up. And not knowing necessarily how to actually change that or how to overcome that in moments, I would sometimes just feel a lot of shame, especially when I got in the habit of comparing my journey to others, which is just a terrible thing to do all around. There's really nothing constructive or positive that can come from that. And I'm not saying keep a complete blinder to what's going on around you, but you got to focus on your journey, right? And ultimately, I placed a lot of pressure on myself at points to achieve certain things just to prove to myself that I was moving or had something going on or was growing or progressing in ways. And they weren't all things that I actually valued or really cared about. So at some point, some of those achievements just felt hollow or kind of meaningless. And I had to figure out how to kind of reset and let go of the things that obviously weren't serving me, but also really endear myself and bring myself closer to my purpose and walk that path no matter how confusing, frustrating, and just downright nonsensical it may have felt at points, and still to this day sometimes feels. So, with that said, I want to share a few tips that have helped me in hopes that they will help you on your journey. First, it's really important to maintain a flexible mindset, a growth mindset. Again, this isn't necessarily going to happen in a straight shot. It's probably not going to make a whole lot of sense at points in it, but that doesn't mean things aren't changing and that you're not growing. So, keeping that open mind to the process and not just being fixated on the destination can really help you learn to see opportunities along the way that will allow you to grow and enrich yourself and develop yourself and really otherwise just elevate yourself throughout the journey. Embracing the details of growth and not just the desired effect is such a game changer. And then it's also important to really maintain a clear idea of your intentions and motives, especially because at moments none of this will make sense. And I really don't think I'm alone in saying that sometimes life just doesn't make any sense, but we're still living it, right? And in those moments, having a clear idea of self, clear idea of your intentions, clear idea of your motives, your motivators, and why you're even doing whatever you're doing is super important, because you can then ground yourself in that and find the energy, find the motivation to actually keep pushing forward in all of that gray, trusting that through that you will actually find and achieve something that resonates with you and that you also feel aligned with. And it's important through that journey to acknowledge and celebrate the moments where you do feel momentum. So, again, there are the moments when you don't feel momentum, when there's confusion, there's gray, there's just, what is this? And then there are going to be moments when you feel on it, you can see it, you can see the path, things make sense. You got to celebrate those moments when things make a lot of sense and really acknowledge all of that as part of the process. And in the moments when things don't make sense, where you may feel stuck, it's really important to practice self compassion and self care, because it can be easy to just want to give up on the process and therefore give up on yourself. But you got to keep pouring into you, because you got to keep showing up, even when it doesn't make sense. And sometimes you do have to re examine, don't get me wrong, and really take a moment, take a step back, and just ask yourself, where are you in the journey, and get a clear sense of that, and make sure it actually aligns with where you plan to generally go. But either way, you still got to practice that self-compassion and self-care and be kind to yourself through all of that. And lastly, you got to let go of the need to compare or to be perfect, because perfection doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. It's just like chasing your tail, and you can't walk anybody's journey just like they can't walk yours. So it's easy to see the good things and not really know all of the things that to them feel absolutely ridiculous and nonsensical that they want to give up on. So I hope those tips do help you on your journey. And as always, I want to leave you with one reflective question. And today's question is, how can fully owning and embracing all aspects of your growth journey benefit you today? Think about it.